So this is what happens when Windows Update runs. It stuffs up all of the drivers, and you need to uninstall all of them from scratch and reinstall them all from scratch. An absolute pain in the ass, because I've had to come all the way here, and now I have to take this rig back to the laboratory and reinstall all of the drivers to get it back up and running, because it just won't boot up. Absolute pain in the ass. VEGA life.
Because I wanna be a Bitcoin billionaire, spending money like I don't care, mining coin in my underwear. I'm gonna be a Bitcoin billionaire. Selecting software and reading the notes, I'm picking out my favorite miners like a Penn State coach. Pick me a digital wallet for holding all my amounts. Read up on all the ways to open lots of accounts.
So I could have sworn that I disabled Windows Update when I first set up this rig, but for some reason the Windows Update just ran automatically again and downloaded critical updates, and every time this happens it just completely overwrites all of our drivers, and then none of the cards work. And it's just very strange, because I reckon that Windows Update is, I reckon they've created a backdoor or something. So even if you disable Windows Update through here, manual, disable, apply, okay. Even though you do it through here, for some reason they managed to be able to run it again, and I think they do it for security reasons, or if in case there's a vulnerability in Windows, they kind of force an update even though you've disabled it, which is strange. But anyway, so I've just disabled that again. So the next thing I need to do is completely overwrite or remove the existing drivers, and the only way to do that is with a tool called Display Driver Uninstaller, which completely removes all traces of any drivers that may be lingering on the machine. So once we open this up, all we need to do is click clean and restart, and I'll go yeah, okay, and once this finishes running it's going to automatically restart, and I'll be back once the computer has restarted. Okay, now we've restarted, and the first thing we need to do is install some new drivers. So let's just have a look here, and yeah, we can see I've got one card unplugged at the moment so that I can plug in the monitor, because I can't actually plug the monitor in with 8 cards plugged in for some reason. So anyway, so once upon a time we needed to use the blockchain drivers. We can actually now use the March 23rd adrenaline drivers. So with the blockchain drivers, they were riddled with bugs. It would constantly crash. Every time you rebooted the machine, you'd need to go and manually enable and disable every single card in the device manager, and it was just terrible. So the adrenaline drivers, you don't need to do the enabling and disabling. They're a lot more stable, they don't really crash that much, and it's just way better. So we're going to go ahead and install this now. Yep, I'll install that and extract the files. Okay, now it's finished extracting, so we'll click accept and install, and it's going to go ahead and detect all of our GPUs. Now it seems to work. See, I didn't do anything differently at all. I just literally extracted the same files again, and now the button works. So this is the joy of setting up VEGA Rigs. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But anyway, let's just leave display driver selected and untick the rest of them and click install. And this is going to take about 5 to 10 minutes. It'll take longer depending on how many cards you have, but I'll be back when this is done. Alrighty, so that took about 7 minutes to complete, and now that this is done, I'm going to go ahead and just restart the machine, and I'll be back once it's restarted. Okay, so I went ahead and shut down and then plugged in the 8th card and restarted. So now I've got all 8 cards detected. So the last thing to do is to open up the registry editor, and once that's loaded up, we'll need to go to local machine, system, current control set, control class, and it's the one with the 6968. So here we can see all of the cards here. So 0. If I have a look here, we need to go ahead and under enable crossfire, we set that to 0, enable UPLS to 0 on every single card. So okay, so now that I've done that for all of the 8 cards, I need to run the registry mods from 0 to 7. So I'll go ahead and grab those mods which I have here. So I don't have one for 0, so I'll just replace this one. I think I did this earlier already. Yeah, I did make it 0, so I'll just run that one first. And I'll go ahead and run this for all of the 8 cards. So I've run that for all 8 cards now, but keep in mind that these are VEGA 56s on this rig, but I'm running the registry mod for the VEGA 64, and even though the 56s can't do 1100 megahertz, well, at least these cards can't without crashing, I have set them to 1050 megahertz in overdrive tool. So I had to cut the video off because the power went out in the office as soon as this miner started running and chewing up 1500 watts. So it tripped the power and turned everything in the office off. So I had to flick the safety switch back on. But that'll conclude this video. It started working again, and all 8 cards started hashing. And that's just one example of some of the problems that we have with these VEGA rigs. So one day I'll make a complete setup video from start to finish on how to set up one of these VEGA rigs. That was just a little taste of some of the problems that we have. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you get notified whenever we post a new one. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
Bitcoin billionaire, spending money like I don't care, mining coin in my underwear. I'm gonna be a Bitcoin billionaire.
And then we'll just click on custom install. And of course custom install isn't doing anything, which it should. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and express install then. Okay, if you don't want to work, I'll express install. Oh yeah, so nothing works, none of the buttons work. Let's try that again.